Let's just start there with the panel. Former White House Press Secretary Ari Fleischer, Julie Pace, Washington Bureau Chief for the Associated Press, Jason Riley, Wall Street Journal columnist, Senior Fellow at the Manhattan Institute, and former House Speaker Newt Gingrich, author of the new book, Trump and the American Future. Mr. Speaker, let me start with you. Is this tenable to not answer that question?
Look, Biden and Harris have a real dilemma. If they answer honestly to please their left, which is they'll pack the court, the country by about 2 to 1 will repudiate them. On the other hand, if they please the average American by pledging not to pack the court, their entire activist base will repudiate them. And that's why you see this dodging and dancing. And I thought Frank Luntz said it exactly right. And I hope that Trump can pick up on how simple this is. This is an issue which goes to the heart of trust and power, and he can, I think, force Biden either to say yes, say no, or be on defense for 3 weeks. And that, frankly, could change the whole election.
Julie, I don't think we've seen a candidate go this far in not answering a question. And the vice presidential nominee. I mean, obviously we saw Speaker Nancy Pelosi say, you'll see what's inside Obamacare after we pass it, you know, on a specific bill. But I mean, he's been asked this a lot.
Yeah, you know, every cycle, it feels like there's sort of one question for every candidate that lingers for a little while, and they try to dodge, they try to get away without answering it, and then eventually you have to bend to reality, which is that you end up making these questions an even bigger deal by refusing to answer them. You ensure that in every interview, in every gaggle, in every debate, that this is a central topic, and you end up giving it so much more oxygen than if you simply answered the question and then defended it. And so I think it'll be interesting to see if the Biden-Harris ticket reaches that same conclusion. There's only a couple of weeks left, but they are going to get hammered with this question at every opportunity until they just give the American people a straight answer on what their position is.
Jason, the question didn't come up from the moderator last night. It came up from Vice President Pence, posed to Kamala Harris, and there was not an answer. Your thoughts on this?
Well, on I think the speaker has it right. They're trapped between their base and the popular opinion in the country on unpacking the court, and it didn't go over well for FDR when he wanted to go that route. So there's that precedent as well. As far as the debate, you know, I thought Vice President Pence did a very good job. He had a very strong performance. The problem is I don't think he changed the dynamic of the race. I think Biden and Harris think they are sitting on a good lead deep into the fourth quarter here, and they just need to not screw it up. And I don't think that Kamala Harris made any huge errors last night that jeopardized the current state of the race. But it makes it all the more mystifying to me that Trump would, like Frank Luntz mentioned, step on the story this morning with this announcement about the next debate. Well, I think it is in his interest to be on a stage with Joe Biden one-on-one, and if he tests negative for the virus, there's no reason that can't happen. But even if it's virtual, I think he would be making a mistake to pass up a one-on-one appearance with Joe Biden. More than 70 million people turned into that first debate, and that's a big audience, and that is the best way to make his case that he's offering a contrast between himself and where he wants to take the country and where Biden wants to take the country. Biden wants to make this a referendum on President Trump.
Let's take a listen. Virtual debate, the president talking about this.
I'm not going to waste my time on a virtual debate. That's not what debating's all about. You sit behind a computer and do a debate. It's ridiculous.
We don't know what the president's going to do. He changes his mind every second. So for me to comment on that now would be irresponsible. I think that if I'm going to follow the commission recommendation, if he goes off and he's going to have a rally, I don't know what I'll do.
Well, I think you're going to see a renegotiation of that. I think the president is getting well. He will pass the test. He will be showing negative testing.
Ari, your thoughts? Joe Biden's already committed to an ABC town hall that night.
Yeah. Two things. One, I don't think the commission worked very hard to figure this out. I think they just quit. And that is really unfortunate, Brett, because our country has turned to the commission. They have provided 3 debates at the presidential level, 1 at the vice presidential, for a generation now. And they have abandoned that public service and setting this up so unilaterally that they didn't try to figure out how to still arrive at 3 good debates. But 2, I think the president doesn't have much leverage here. He needs these debates more than Joe Biden does. So if the second debate doesn't happen, it's really no skin off Joe Biden's back. It actually helps Biden.
Yeah.
I think the smarter course for the president would have been to say, if I'm COVID positive, I'm not going. No one's COVID positive should show up at work. But if I have no longer the virus, then people need to listen to doctors and listen to science. And my doctor is a Navy commander, a medical doctor.
Yeah.
People can listen to him. And then let Joe Biden reject what doctors conclude. That would be a smarter way if I was Donald Trump.
Speaker Gingrich, last word here.
Well, I think they ought to abolish the debate commission. You know, they changed the rules of the game without asking the president. They didn't involve his team. They've stacked all the moderators. The next moderator was actually an intern for Biden and an intern for Teddy Kennedy. Give me a break. If I was Donald Trump, I wouldn't want to go to a virtual debate that they totally control. What he ought to do is offer a John F. Kennedy, Richard Nixon debate in a television studio, paced apart 20, 30 feet, go at it, the two of them, and let's see Biden turn that down.
All right, panel, thank you very much. We appreciate it. When we come back, some final thoughts.